The Asian Avengers. So weak.
The Asian Avengers. So weak. So fuckable, bro. You know? Whoa. There's 5 Asian guys together. Wow.
Together. Did you ever go through a stealing phase?
Do I think everyone should have a gun? Maybe.
Or you can look me up. I don't care. I'll fight you. I don't care.
You want to get high as fuck? You like opium?
We never start that way.
Hey,
I'm keeping that, Mike. I'm keeping Welcome to another episode of AsianNotAsian Podcast, a podcast where 2 Asian guys not from Asia talk about American issues no Americans care about. I'm your host, Fumi.
And I'm Mike Nguyen.
Today is August 1st, coming at you live from Brooklyn, New York. We hope you're doing well. If you're listening to this on your phones right now, please take a screenshot, post it on Instagram stories, tag us at AsianNotAsianPod. And if you're an iTunes listener, please leave a review. We love hearing from you. A 5-star review. Even if you don't feel that way, a 5-star review. Would like to start this with a quick story of the week. I've been thinking about this a lot over the last 2-3 weeks with everything that's going on in the country right now. But also just like at work, you know, we talked about this with Millie in a previous episode. But I think with everything that's happening, a lot of corporations right now are trying to be allies, or at least sort of, you know, be perceived that way, right?
Sure.
Doing everything they can to be on the right side of history, which is cool. If they work in the content space like I do, they are actually encouraging us to like make more content that speaks to that experience. Recently, me and another black comedian coworker of mine, we pitched something at where I work, and the joke is that we're the only non-white writers in the room, and sometimes it's like kind of weird pitching comedy ideas and video ideas that are like kind of race related and stuff like that, but. The joke is that ever since, you know, all the protests and stuff have been happening, they've been like greenlighting all of our ideas, and we just don't know if they like it or if they feel like they have to like it. So the sketch is just like me and him pitching wild ideas, and it had to get approved by so many fucking departments for like legal reasons or whatever. Even though it's gonna be a stupid 1-minute Twitter video.
Yeah.
And then when it finally got approved, they were like, yeah, we like really like this stuff. Like, yeah, more of this. And there is something that I don't like about how sometimes when you make content that kind of pokes fun at white people or like white institutions, then they act like they like that shit. They're like, oh yeah, more of that. Yeah. We're so stupid. You know what I mean? And then like, I don't want that reaction. You know what I mean? That's not why I'm making this.
You're trying to hurt their feelings.
I'm trying to hurt their feelings. Okay, so can you cry? Can you cry? You know. I don't know.
Instead, they're just like, oh, that was so good. Hey, here's some money. You know what I'm saying? That's how much it doesn't even affect them. They're just like, oh, that's so great. Listen, I'm your boss. Get out of here. You know, like it's crazy. I also think it's so meta too that like I can't tell where the joke ends and reality begins. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it possible that maybe the joke wrote you know what I'm saying, like the you know what I'm saying, the sketch is actually reality and you're the joke, and like you just have no idea where it starts.
It's very possible. It's very possible, man. I know, but that's just something I've been struggling with at work. But I don't know. I gotta make content, and that's what it is. But yeah, there is a line where I'm like, man, they hated all my pitches until a month ago, and it's like I don't know if it's a joke or not, because that's what actually happened. So
yeah.
You know, I don't know how much this is comedy, how much is reality. But
I mean, here's the thing. Bottom line, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You get it. Use that white guilt. Get it so that you can get some more things up on the air.
Screen time.
And more scripts and more screen time and more followers and stuff like that. And you know what? Hey, we'll still be working for them in a couple of years.
And speaking of people who have taken advantage of this white guilt to get ahead of the industry. Just kidding. This our guest today. Oh, I can't believe that he hit us up. It's been so.
I cannot believe it either. This is crazy.
It's pretty wild that we have him on Zoom right now. Honestly, this guy is so handsome. You know, I don't know if you noticed this, Mike. When I was telling my story earlier, he was just sitting there looking like far away, and I thought it was like his headshot.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was because we're on Zoom. I thought it was a headshot, and then he moved, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I thought it's like this is like night at the museum, when the paintings come out.
Honestly, when you were doing it, I actually moved my Zoom screen so I wouldn't be able to look at him, because I was like, is he laughing at my jokes too? I hope he's laughing at my jokes.
Can I talk now?
No, you cannot. Hold on. One second.
1 second. The guest today, he is an actor from Australia, now based in LA.
Yeah.
He was Colin Coon in Crazy Agents. He was in Charlie's Angels. He's in this new hilarious movie with Andy Samberg on Hulu called Palm Springs, which we're gonna hear about. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the amazing Chris Pang.
Whoa.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. That's what we do on the show, right? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Oh my God!
You killed it. Okay, hold on here.
I promise you, we never do that. We never do that.
Is that a thing? That's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah, it's totally. It's a thing. It's a thing now. It's a thing now. And now that we have Chris Pang doing it on Zoom, it's going to be a thing forever.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you,
guys. Thanks for having me on. Thank you for having me.
I can't believe you're on here. We're obviously huge fans of yours. I guess let's just start. Where are you? Right? You are besides
you're in Hawaii.
Yeah, you're in Hawaii. What are you doing there?
I'm in Hawaii. it's just.
Why would you do this to us?
Why would he show us
What is this? I thought, get off the show.
Get off the show. Get off the show.
I'm hiding, man. COVID is, it's got the world all crazy, and it's just the worst. I'm staying indoors, and I'm having to look at this all the time. Just no work. Just sucks, man.
Is this some sort of because I also think that who's that other really hot actor, the Korean dude?
Daniel Day Kim.
Yeah, is there some sort of military?
He just got here.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I'm supposed to so I'm out of quarantine tonight. I'm out of quarantine tonight at 12 a.m.
Wow.
And so I've been spending the last 14 days locked up in this horrible apartment with this devastating view. But yeah, he's here, so I'm gonna hit him up when I get out.
Is this some sort of thing where, how we put all the NBA players together in one place so that, they're safe? Is this something where
we're trying to protect our Asian talent?
Yeah,
protect all the Asian talent.
The hot Asian guys.
It's like
all five of you.
It's like that scene in Armageddon. They find you wherever you are. It's like, get in the helicopter. We got to get you to a safe location. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. We need to choose our designated survivor as well. We need someone far away that they can hold the fort in case we all go down.
Well, okay, so we did a lot of research on you, and I don't know, I couldn't find you talking about this on the internet, but Mike is super into it because he's super into martial arts.
So,
I'm such a dork.
But your family, bro.
We did a lot of research, and we couldn't find the narrative that we wanted to go with. So we're just gonna ask you anyway.
We're just gonna go with it, buddy.
We're gonna ask you, bro. We gotta ask you because your family's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I think Mike, I found I think I found your dad's kung fu website. Is it Barry Pang Kung Fu?
Yeah.
There you go, baby.
Hey.
There you go, baby.
Badass.
Your dad, your family is like a Wing Chun family. It's like your dad is an instructor. Your mom is like a really good practitioner,
and he's related to Bruce Lee.
And you're related to Bruce Lee, and so there's this whole thing. So I guess just in general, what was it like growing up? Was that something you had to do all the time? Is that something you're oh God, I gotta go practice kung fu again? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Is it, or is it something, I just did it and then I just kind of went on with my life,
Oh, I kind of man, when you say it like that, and when I really think about it, I feel like such a dumbass because it is the coolest thing ever. And it's the stuff that my parents do is just every kid should want to do that. But when they're your parents, it's not the same.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like imagine going to school and your dad is the teacher and he's teaching you English. You will hate English. And I hated martial arts because I was man, it's such a chore. And also, so they were running these kung fu camps during the school holidays, right? And it was for uni student, college. You guys call it college, yeah. Students, because they had classes at all the college campuses, and so they'd have all these college kids going to camp with them for 4 days training, and it was like a Shaolin movie. It was in the countryside, and it was wake up 6 a.m. the sun rises, and they're doing training on this. It was legit and it was sick. Except as a kid, when you're 12, that is the worst thing you could. I waited the whole school term for the holidays, and I'm gonna spend 4 days of my holidays at this stupid camp doing hanging out with these older kids. I just want to play in the sand pit, bro. I want to play with Transformers. It was the worst thing. So I hated it. And I was forced to do it. And so I did it.
Yeah.
I did it for 10, 15 years or something.
That's a long time, man.
That's so long.
Yeah, it's a long time. Like, it's a long time to be not that good at something.
But you can't say that. I feel like, I mean, you got all these roles. You were in.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm very, very lucky. So I got a very, very good foundation and base. And I mean, like, I think with any of those kind of movement sports or disciplines, it's about the foundations.
Yeah.
You know, so if you get your stances and your body moving in the right way and everything's grounded and stuff, you can kind of apply it to different disciplines quite easily. And that's why people sort of, you train different styles, and you, like Bruce Lee took all the bits that he thought worked at all the different styles, made his own style and stuff, because the foundations and the theory behind it, a lot of it's very similar.
Right.
And so when you go to, and I say that for most real martial arts, because you're trying to attack someone, and it applies to all martial arts except for movie martial arts.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
why is that?
Which is what I had to do, because now it's not attacking someone. You're trying your best to not attack someone. It's actually the opposite. So you have to like retrain everything. But because I guess I was lucky, because I had the foundation, I had the training for actual martial arts and attack that would work in a real life situation. I was able to make the fake techniques look like they work.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big difference. Like you see a lot of martial arts now in all the TV. Like we kind of got spoiled. Like remember back in the day, I don't know, how old are you guys? I don't know, maybe you
we're old. We're
about your age.
I don't know. You guys could be like 15, man.
No, I'm 30. I'm 30.
Yeah.
Okay. Like remember back when like TV used to, like the fights and stuff on TV just sucked.
Oh yes, I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then Matrix happened, and then suddenly like every single TV show had like sick martial arts in it. Because they were like, we can get non-martial artists that are normal actors to look like that. What? We can use stuntmen? Are you kidding me? And then suddenly it was like all amazing. And so we're kind of spoiled now, but I think it's pretty clear. You can very clearly see the difference between a trained martial artist doing action on screen and someone who is not trained, who's just an actor, who's just come into it and training for a martial arts role. It's pretty clear for the movement and that.
I feel
pretty spot now. Yeah. So I'm lucky.
No, I feel I know too that and we'll get to like talking about Crazy Rich Asians and all that stuff, but like I know that Ronnie also does Wing Chun.
Ronnie Chang.
Ronnie Chang.
Dude, Ronnie firstly, Ronnie's just obsessed with BJJ. Like everywhere he goes, he just talks about BJJ. Did you guys talk about BJJ on your show? Like, didn't you take like 5 minutes out to talk about this?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
I cut it.
Or like 20 minutes? I don't know, was it 5 and it felt like 20?
Yes, he goes to my school, okay, and he and I, we train all the time. I miss him so much. I miss cuddling with him. But he's also obsessed with Wing Chun. That was like his thing. He did that for a long time as well. Did you guys? Did you guys do the sticky? How's your sticky hands? Huh?
Yeah, we did the sticky hands.
Really?
But like Ronnie chooses the weirdest times to do it. We'll be like, there'll be like times when we're hanging out just one-on-one, like we're in a hotel room and we're in private, and he'll just want to like talk shit and do nothing. But then we'll be in a public place with lots of people and people that we don't know, and then suddenly he's like, "Hey man, hey, let's do some chisao."
Dude, that's a great impression. That's a good impression of Ronnie.
Wow.
Yo, I mean, I get it. He's a performer. You gotta want to do the sticky hands in public, man. Why not?
I would do the same thing. You know, I would be like,
you don't, bro, because the thing about Wing Chun is it looks crap. It's like one of the most effective forms of martial arts, but it looks horrible.
I know what you mean.
And you're like standing there pigeon-toed, and you're like doing it like, what are you doing, man? Like you don't want to be doing that in a restaurant in front of people. Nah.
That's so funny.
But Ronnie wants to do it.
Ronnie like is blocking the way to the bathroom. He's like, no, you gotta do it with me right now before you can go to the bathroom.
I just love it. I'm trying to imagine you're like at a cool bar or at a club or something like that, and you're like, oh man, hey, you see those girls over there? I think they want to talk to us. And he's like, Ronnie's
let's do some chisao. Yeah, they really like that. Come on.
You're certifiably hot. I feel this is a thing.
Verified.
I have a lot of good-looking guy friends, and fine, it's totally fine. But you're like weaponized. I feel you're like Hollywood level. When did you realize you were a hot guy? I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna ask because
also please show us your abs later.
Yeah, later. But first answer the question. When did you realize?
I'm wondering where this is going. I'm like, this is getting kind of uncomfortable now. I'm like, where are you going? With
It's
this?
not going in. It's going exactly right here. There you go.
This is the beginning.
It's a weird question, man. Like, honestly, if I had to answer it honestly, growing up in Australia, I feel like the experience growing up in Australia for an Asian guy is probably similar to America, right? I mean, we're not, we're a minority, and we're very underrepresented in media and on, and everything you see, every sort of pop culture media, like ads, like anything, bus stops, you go past, you never see yourself represented. You never see guys that look like you, at least when I was growing up, right? I think it's changed very much recently. So I think the story is the same, whether you're here or there, or where, like, if you've grown up in a Western, predominantly white society, then you've been underrepresented as an Asian guy. And that really affects you, like to never see a guy that looks like you ever get a girl in a film or be the good looking guy. It does things to you as a kid. And you grow up feeling second best. You grow up feeling not good enough. And I think that kind of complex, no one's really immune to that. And so I definitely grew up with that challenge. And it's a hard question to answer because I still don't. It's not like I wake up and be like, oh, I'm like a super good looking, like better looking, whatever. I just exist.
That would be amazing if you did.
Exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that in my daily routine now.
You should,
wake
man.
Up and go to the mirror.
You deserve it. You deserve it, man. All those blowjobs we got.
You look good today, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, so then.
I don't know.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a very difficult question for me to answer because I feel like the idea of beauty has been defined by Western culture, and so we kind of adhere to Western ideals of beauty, and obviously not our faces don't look like that.
Sorry, let me ask you this. So I totally get all that because I also grew up in Ohio, which is there are no Asians around. I was the only Asian person around. I would get people would say things to me like I'm not into Asian guys. I heard all that shit for sure.
Yeah.
Did you did you have a girlfriend in high school? Like, did you find yourself did anyone because I understand you grew up in that environment, but I look like this and you look like that. So there must have been somebody who's like, well, you know what? Even though we're not supposed to think he's hot, he's kind of hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you have certain girls or people in your life who, even at a young age when
what? I never had the confidence to go after. Like, I've only ever dated Asian girls, and it's more recently become a choice because I just feel like it's just culturally it's just easier and stuff. It's like
sure.
Like people ask like, how good was the set of Crazy Rich Asians? And I was like, it was great because we culturally got it. It's a whole cast of Asians. We never had to explain stuff like karaoke and like K-barbecue.
Right.
It's part of your life. So like that kind of stuff. Like it's just easier. And I feel closer, more connected. So it's been a choice more recently, but previously when I was younger, it wasn't a choice. It was more that I just never had the confidence to ever, like I felt like I had no chance with white girls. Yeah. I've heard stuff before, like, hey, you're pretty good looking for an Asian guy. Like, I've heard that stuff before.
Yeah. We all love that. That's a great
Very
sentence.
That's a classic joke from white people. Got it. Nailed it. You got me. I do want to talk a little bit more about your career coming up. So you got here in 2013. I'm sure you had to grind for a while before you started landing things more regularly. I mean, I assume, I have no idea. Maybe you just started becoming famous right away. But is it was there any particularly bad roles that you were like, all right, I got to do this, or like a really weird audition you had to do, and you're just like, I just got to do this. This is like a part of being an actor,
Like heavy Asian accents, like things you're uncomfortable
whatever.
with.
I got to be a toad. I don't know, whatever it is.
That's a good role, by the way. I take that.
Yeah, I would
you
too.
know, I've honestly, I've been pretty lucky. Like I think by the time I had thought about whether it was right or wrong to play heavy accents and do all that stuff, I had just steered clear of it by chance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I definitely went to some auditions where I had to do accents and stuff. But I never got them.
You're bad at being racist. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Next.
But like I can do a great Asian accent.
Yeah.
Matt Damon got it.
Nice.
No, but like having said that, the very first gig I ever did, so I walked into a voiceover place, and I was like selling phones at the time, right? So I was just selling phones, and then they were like, "Can you do an Asian accent?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" I was, you know, I wasn't connected to entertainment at all.
Yeah,
I just could do a really, really racist version of an Asian accent. I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that." And they're like, "Yeah, okay, sweet. Well, we got a job for you tomorrow."
Right?
Yeah, sweet. Yes, racism. Oh my gosh, we will pay you for your racism. I'm like, I will accept that money.
Yeah. And, I would too.
And I went in and I dubbed the English dub of the new Jackie Chan film, which at the time was New Police Story.
Right.
And so I'm one of the voices on the English dub of that. And that was the first gig that I ever worked. So I guess you could say I got my break into the industry by being racist.
I don't blame you.
I haven't had to do it since.
But he's the coolest guy, though. Like if you had to do a racist accent for somebody.
No, I didn't dub Jackie. I dubbed like it was one of Jackie. It was like Jackie's little brother.
That'd be funny if you were just doing the animation version of Chris Tucker. He was just doing a black person's voice.
I feel like I'm trying to understand the logic.
Feel like Chris Tucker speaks with his eyes, man. Like you can't dub him.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm trying to understand the logic too of there's this movie, New Police Story. Okay, all right, cool. It's in Chinese. Okay, cool. We need to dub it into English. Okay, fantastic, but not good English. Aha! That's like,
Right. It's like you're translating.
Because Asian people can't speak good English, bro. That's why.
You got a great point.
Well, I do want to leave enough time to talk about what you came here to talk about, which is your newest project. It's a Hulu movie called Palm Springs. And a quick synopsis for people who don't know. If you haven't seen the show and if you're a listener, please go check it out on Hulu. It's super funny. I watched it the other day. The quick synopsis is it's a movie that follows two strangers who meet at a Palm Springs wedding only to get stuck in a time loop. And some of the biggest actors in it: Andy Samberg, obviously from Lonely Island, and it's Kristen Milioti. She's the mom from How I Met Your Mother.
Right.
That's right. And then we have our own Chris Pang. And I just gotta ask, I'm a big fan of Andy Samberg growing up, big fan of How I Met Your Mother. Were you a big Andy fan? Were you kind of freaking out that you got to work with him because you were like in a scene with him a lot?
Yeah. Of course I was freaking out, dude. I'm like, it was weird. I was talking to him, and so Lonely Island is this weird phenomenon in Australia. So SNL's not a thing in Australia.
Oh, really?
Right? Because it doesn't.
Oh, right.
No, it doesn't air there. And Saturday night is like Sunday during the day or some shit.
Yeah.
Like we don't get SNL, and so all the actors that we've seen come up I now realize, I'm like, oh man, Will Ferrell, I know all his movies. He was from SNL. I'm like, Chevy Chase, what the hell? He's like all these SNL alumni. The way their path to get them there through SNL was completely missed in Australia because we didn't have that show. But Lonely Island was huge in Australia.
Okay.
And it was because
Dick in the Box.
I was talking to Andy about it on set. I'm like, hey man, did you know that like we don't have SNL, but we have Lonely Island? He's like, yeah. Like it topped the Australian charts. One of their songs topped the Australian charts. It was that
They had two big hits, Dick in a Box and Jizz in My Pants.
Jizz in My Pants, I think, was the one that
was a good one.
Topped the charts. It was great. That
really resonated with Australian.
Yeah, what a beautiful country.
And I was talking about it, and we realized, I'm like, I think I got it, bro. I think I know why. Because he didn't know why. He was really surprised. And I'm like, I'll tell you why. It's because Australians are all dickheads. and we love that kind of humor. It's just so idiotic.
Yeah.
That it resonates with everybody in Australia. It's like, oh, whoop, I just ripped my headphones out. It's like this week, my friend sent me a news article, like a legit news article in Australia. Like, sort of the world news is like everybody pandemic. Yeah, everyone's like, people are dying. And then there's like, oh my gosh, all these serious things happening. And in Australia, the newsworthy story was that some guy broke up with his girlfriend by posting her number and asking for Chewbacca auditions. And so her phone was going off all night with people just going like, that's news in Australia. Like, Australians
wow.
That's the news.
That's amazing.
And Jizz in My Pants, that's the number one song.
Yeah.
Jizz in My Pants number one for quite a while.
I thought you were going to be like, I think I get why. It's because Australians always jizz in their pants. It's just what we do. It's part of the culture.
It happens all the time.
I gotta ask, tell us more about like the filming process, the set life,
project.
It was hard for me. And it was hard because I'm not a comedic actor. Like, I can be funny and stuff. And, if someone writes the lines and the lines are funny on the page, then I can deliver them easy, right? But I'm not like an improv guy. Like, Ronnie is very funny on the spot. I can't do that, right? And I need time to think about things and that. And so I'm on set, and the set's pretty casual. As you can imagine, it's a small cast, and we just filmed it up in like it's set in Palm Springs. We filmed it up in Santa Clarita, and which is just north of LA for those of you that don't live in LA.
Yeah.
But it's like this, basically like a big, what is it, like, I don't know, like a wedding space, basically.
Right.
You can stay there.
Yeah.
And so we filmed it all there as well, just hanging out. Lots of time to just chill and do nothing. And so it was one of these days where I'm just chilling and doing nothing. Had plenty of time to work on stuff and do things and be productive, but just wasn't, because I had nothing to do. And then they come to me after about 2 hours of just me doing nothing. And then they're like, hey, we need you on set. I'm like, sick. I'll come to set. Came to set, and they're like, yeah, you're in this next shot. I'm like, all right, what are we filming? And on the script, so you get little script of what we're filming every day. And it says that it's a scene with Andy Samberg and J.K. Simmons, and they're having a conversation, and the wedding's going on in the background. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm going to be in the background. And they're like, oh, yeah. So we're going to do this extra shot. You're on the microphone at the front because I'm officiating the wedding, right?
Right.
So I'm like basically hosting. And so they're like, just take the mic and just, we're going to shoot you. So just like, just riff for like a minute or two.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what do you mean riff for a minute or two? Like, yeah. Just make some stuff up. Just be funny. Just go. And I'm like, what? I'm not that kind of actor, dude. I can't just be funny. Are you kidding me? And I think people forget because they're working with these comedy legends. And then even the guys that were like smaller roles in that movie, a lot of them are like writers for SNL and writers for, Tonight, like all these talk shows and stuff.
Yeah, the bartender was Jennifer Friedman, I think. She's a comedian.
She's hilarious. Yeah, and so there's all these guys there that are just super funny and great at improv and hilarious. And then there's me.
Right.
And they're like, they forget that I can't do that. And they're just like, yeah, just go riff for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, it's okay because we're just rehearsals right now. So, you have you have some time to just work it out. And then before we shoot, I'm like, oh, all right. So when did the rehearsal? And then you hear the first assistant director. He's just like, all right, shooting the next. What the fuck? And so it was a very stressful shoot for me because a lot of it, I'm like, these guys are just so good at improv. They're just used to just doing it, right? But I'm not. And so there's a lot of stuff that was not on the page. And there was a lot of stuff, like Andy helped me out a bit and he's like, hey, I got a line for you. Say this. And so I stole a lot of his lines. But we made it work. And so it was very fun. But it was just great seeing it happen.
Right. What did you end up doing for the minute? For the minute or two?
Dude, I ended up leaning heavily on the fact that I'm Australian. And so I went in, that role wasn't supposed to be in an Australian accent.
Oh, right,
and then
right.
I came in and then they heard my Aussie accent and they're like, dude, this is like, can you just do that for the movie?
Yeah.
so I've ended up doing. All right, let's take a second here. I just need to recognize the fact that an Asian Australian is probably already so like you don't see that so much. Let alone just an Asian.
Yeah.
In media, you never see that. Let alone Asian Australian, and I've been Australian in the last 3 films that I've done. I was Australian in Charlie's Angels,
right,
and then in this Palm Springs, and also a film that I produced in the Philippines. I was Australian too. It's been nuts. But yeah, they wanted.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They wanted me to do that, so I'm like sick. So then when I came up, I just I leaned very heavily into the Aussie accent. I like amplified it a lot, and just started making up Australian terms that don't exist. That's what got me through.
I do feel that there's something like we were talking about before we started recording that there's something about Asian Australians that the camera loves. I don't know why.
It's the accent, bro.
I don't know what. Do you know Alexander Hodge? Do you know him?
Yeah, Hodgie.
Yeah. You know? Do you know him personally, or what? If
Yeah,
it's fine if you
Hodge.
don't. But it's just like there's something about like a Asian guy with an American accent. Get the fuck out of here. Asian guy with an Australian accent. Oh, fantastic.
Take off your shirt.
Take off your shirt immediately. And here's a micro, and here's a roll. You know, it's like it's kind of crazy.
I mean, it's real because this is the part I wanted to get to because listen, listeners, anals, we call listeners anals. That's Asian, not Asian listener.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Good,
anals. It's a good one.
I thought you would like that.
Yeah.
Listen, so Chris Bang has gotten Asian dudes laid because of Crazy Rich Asians, right? But then he does it again in this movie because he basically the entire movie it's an infinite time loop. So he's infinitely eating out this white girl in a bathroom. Basically the whole movie. That's his role, okay? He is eating out this white girl.
For this? Yeah.
How did you prepare? Yeah, what did you do some method acting for this role? What was going on there?
Very method. Yeah. Right. So my character just does a lot of drugs and eats girls other people's girlfriends out in bathrooms. Just had to really research it. I probably did heavy Trevor was his name. Character study for a good month before I went into filming. That's why I'm so skinny in the movie. Just lost a lot of weight.
No, Jesus.
Oh wow.
Doing the cocaine. Yeah. It was good.
That's fun.
Yeah. That was a great scene.
Do you know filming that was actually so weird.
Why?
I can only imagine.
What are you talking about? I can imagine. Why?
Okay,
what are you talking about?
Yeah. It would be weird anyway, eating out someone on a screen. But consider the fact that usually 99% of the time when you film a sex act on screen, the sex act is the focus of the scene.
Right.
But in this case, it completely was in the background. And so Andy and Kristen are filming this full dialogue scene and taking their time because it's like an emotional scene that goes for a few pages. And I'm just eating her out in the background, dude.
Right, yep.
And so I'm having to I was there for like 2 hours.
Wow, let it be known. You heard it here first. Chris Pang goes down on girls for 2 hours, ladies.
I'm just imagining you got your phone out, you're checking Reddit. I don't even know what's happening.
It was like Love Actually. Have you seen Love Actually?
Yes.
There's that storyline in Love Actually where they're like doing pornos or something and then they're just having the most mundane pedestrian conversation. It was like that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're talking about TV shows and Pokemon and stuff. I'm like in her badge and I'm like,
were you really having conversations?
What's your favorite Pokemon?
Yeah.
It was weird, dude.
So what are you thinking for lunch later,
was a
huh?
champ.
Yeah. That's funny.
She was a champ.
That's fantastic. What are you? What
really? Is that the evolution of Eevee? We're like.
That's some good improv, man. You said you weren't funny. You're funny.
Yeah, dude. Always lean on Pokemon. When in doubt,
Pokemon.
People be like, what?
As two comedians, I feel that you can almost always get a laugh by saying Pokemon or butt stuff. Just one of the two, or if you could combine them in some way, just do that as well. It's like it's a surefire way to do it.
I know that we have to wrap up soon. I wanted to end with this question, and then feel free to plug whatever you like to do. Since your most recent project is this Hulu movie, Palm Springs, about Andy Samberg getting stuck in an infinite time loop. I wanted to ask you, since you were on the set for so long, if you had to get stuck in an infinite time loop, and maybe Mike, you can answer this too, and so could I. If you had to get stuck in an infinite time loop, which era of your life or which specific moment would you pick, and why, Chris? Why? You can take a second to think about it. You know.
Well, this is tough because it's like, can I pick the future or not? Does it have to be something that I've lived?
I mean, I guess if you have an idea for something,
if you know the future,
what the fuck? What do you know? What's gonna happen to you? What do you?
I know stuff.
Oh my god! Oh, it's all those drugs you've been using. Oh
my god. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Man, honestly, I can say that the greatest moment of my life up to date was around the premiere of Crazy Rich Asians. It just straight up was, because I've lived, like we spoke earlier about the experiences of growing up and what that meant. And so for a film to come out, like I was in the theater in the premiere sitting in front of Kevin Kwan, right? And when the titles came up, the power of seeing those names and that they're all Asian and they're all people that we knew, and we did this, that we premiered and closed down the whole of Hollywood Boulevard that day and had our carpet expanding all the way in front of the TLC theater where all the handprints of all...
Sorry guys, our Zoom connection got lost here, so we lost this beautiful thing that Chris just said. But Mike summarizes it. Here you go.
Well, okay, so for the recording, I think we got some of it, but it sounds like Chris would relive this powerful moment where he and a bunch of Asian American actors and entertainers and writers came together and had like something really powerful that was bigger than them, that helped change the way that people perceived people who look like us. I think that's great. My time loop would be your time loop, Chris. It would be that exact same thing, except I'm in the background eating out your girlfriend. Okay, that would be my thing. That would be. Hey! I want to thank Chris Pang for being.
I can't even be mad. How do I reply to that? Pokemon butt stuff.
You got it. You nailed it. Chris, where can our fans and everybody find you on social media and stuff?
Oh no, this is not good. So I'm Pangers, Pangerz on Twitter, and then Pangers was taken on Instagram, so I added an E, and so it's really inconsistent. It's Pangers, which is my nickname in Australia. Pangers. It's Pangeerz on Instagram.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. And you can also please find us on social media at AsianNotAsianPod. Everybody's laughing at me because my technology is shit. And then you'll find us on Patreon, patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod. Follow me and Mike. I'm on social media at the Fumi Abe, the CHEFUMIABE.
And you can find me on Instagram at nicepants.bro. We want to thank Chris Pang once again. Please check him out on Palm Springs and in subsequent shows. And we just wish you well, buddy.
Thanks,
good luck with getting out and having a beer. Yeah, that's it.
Cheers, brother. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for doing it, man.
All right, man. See ya.
Bye.